Hey everyone, Graham Gardner here with Mostly Business, and I got an awesome question yesterday from Brooke Hart, one of my great clients, former Yale quarterback, and just all around awesome dude. And he asked me something super important that I thought would apply to every RIA out there. Essentially, how should RIAs be optimizing their content, in this case, YouTube? But how should they be optimizing their content to get found within LLMs? How does ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gronk, or Gemini recommend your advisory next time someone searches financial advisory near me? And I think this is a super important question to dig into. And if you ever have a question like this and would like me to highlight it on the show, please email me at graham@gardnerconsulting.co and I'll respond back one-on-one. We'll make sure you get the details that you're looking for, and I'll share your question out with the rest of the audience. So back to Brooke's question. I highlighted a massive shift that's happening right now. And honestly, it's going to change how clients find us as financial advisors. And really, it's changing how people find anyone on the internet. I'm sure you yourself have asked ChatGPT for a recommendation for a business near you. And in the 20 years or so that I've been doing digital marketing, this is the biggest shift that I've seen. AI is the biggest shift that anyone's seen. But over the last 20 years, if a wealthy client wanted to find a financial advisor near them and they were not going through a direct referral, they got a list of people on Google. They would search and there'd be the top page there, and they might go a little bit past the top page, maybe into page two, but not any further. And that era is dead because now most people optimize for either local SEO or what you learn about today, generative engine optimization, GEO. And so there's a new gatekeeper in town and it's completely changing everything. And I think we should dig in and talk about this. So let's look at the old world versus the new reality. You can see the difference on the left, like I talked about. For years, we fought tooth and nail for SEO results to rank on that first page, just praying that we got a click. And really, it was attainable. You could spin up a new website, you could rank within a month, maybe 3 months. And well, the reality that we're living in today, when a prospect asks AI a question, it doesn't spit out a list of here's the, 10 pages of Google results. It thinks and it uses a process called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. And basically it reads a bunch of sources and it writes its own custom answer on the spot based on a multitude of things that it pulls its information from, and it spits back an answer. It maybe gives one, two, the most I've seen are three options. And well, so now our goal isn't just to rank, it's to be cited as one of these 1 to 3 options. So your next high net worth client is asking a new kind of question. Picture a prospective client in Ragnar or Wayne, Pennsylvania. They aren't typing financial advisor near me into a search bar like it's 2010. Maybe there are sometimes, but at least half of the time, they're probably talking to an AI assistant and they're asking either very high level questions of who is a top RIA in Wayne, Pennsylvania, or they're already deep into a conversation with AI, talking about things like their Roth K conversions, and then they're taking action off of that conversation. And so the AI treats it like it's a research project. It goes out, like I said, it looks for proof, it looks for other people vouching you, and it decides who is the best. Gone are the days where we could just stuff our website with, hey, I am the best marketer for financial advisors. Now it's going to go out and look at other sources that cite Graham as the right option for financial advisors. And because it's search based on geography. It's going to go and look at other local entities in our area that also say that. So if you aren't part of this conversation, then you literally just do not exist to this prospect. So you have to understand how this machine thinks. And it's not looking up a phone book, it's doing a real time synthesis. When that question comes in, AI grabs documents that it trusts, for example, like the Barron's list or local business journals, or maybe even your SEC filings, and it reads them instantly and it constructs an answer based on what it's found. Right here, you'll see on the screen, I'm sharing up Gemini's response to its research, and it's showing you how it actually thinks. And it doesn't know if you're good or not. It only knows what the reliable sources out there have to say about you. All right. So, this is the really scary part for all internet marketers out there. Your SEO strategy does not guarantee visibility anymore. So, pay attention. There is less than a 20% overlap between the websites that rank number one on Google and the sources AI actually uses to answer the questions being asked. You could be crushing it with traditional SEO, but still invisible to the AI sources. And it's great to be crushing it on the SEO side. This is still part of your algorithm as a financial advisor looking to do business online. But we have to adapt to this new model. And winning the old game doesn't necessarily mean that you win the new one. And you have to be okay with that. The rules for building authority have totally flipped. Well, that's actually tongue in cheek. They haven't totally flipped. Just a lot of the things that we preached about doing in the past that people just frankly did not feel like were worth their efforts because there was no direct ROI result off of it. Well, now all those things matter. So let's look at this next slide. The era of the zero click client is officially here. We're seeing a crisis in visibility, and we're calling it the zero click client. These people who get their answer right on the results page and never visit your website are a completely different beast. And we have to adapt our marketing to fit what they are looking for. And AI overviews are showing up more than half of the traffic searches now. You know, that little box at the top of Chrome, when you search for something and it says the Gemini recap, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And with the latest Gemini recap to hit, we're going to start seeing that more and more and more. So if you're measuring your website search traffic as your main indicator, well, you're probably missing out on a good portion of the data that's out there. So the new metric is, do you show up in the AI's answer or don't you? And if AI doesn't mention you, the client doesn't see you. So there's not much metrics to go into beyond that. And we got to welcome the winner take all citation economy. It's a chance for us to get ahead of laggard advisors that aren't adopting this new methodology. And Google used to be forgiving. There were 10 spots on the front page alone, plus ads, plus a map pack, plus local service ads. And there was a lot of places to get seen on that front page. But this new world of ChatGPT responses or perplexity, well, this world is ruthless. And AI usually only picks, like I said, three, maybe five sources to build its answers on. And those 3 to 5 sources are a winner take all economy. And it's your economy to take if you want to. So if your firm isn't mentioned on a specific place that AI trusts, again, like the local business journals or industry rankings, then you're out of the game. And there is no page 2 on ChatGPT answers. But hey, we can fix this for you. Let's bring this all back to Brooke's question. Let's focus in on the mainline area, Pennsylvania. You might have a great office in Wayne. You might even show up and dominate Google Maps. But a physical presence does not equate to digital authority. If a wealthy investor asks an AI for the best advisor and the AI can't find third party articles backing up the claim that you are the best advisor, You're just not going to show up. You could be the absolute best advisor in town, but AI doesn't have the data to prove it. And it really, frankly, doesn't care who the best advisor is. It cares who the data shows that the best advisor is. So the response from optimizing for clicks to engineering for authority leaves us with the question of what do we do? Well, we stop obsessing over SEO and we start doing GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. We're not playing games with keywords or backlinks anymore. We're focused on shaping what the web says about you. So those things matter. Keywords do matter. Building good backlinks do matter. But how we focus on that needs to completely change. We need to teach the AI's brain the knowledge graph of what we do, that you are the definitive authority for wealth management in this area. All right, so let's deconstruct this high value query. Here's how we engineer this. Let's take a query like, who is the top RIA in Radnor, Pennsylvania? The AI quietly breaks this into three key pieces: the intent, the attribution, and the entity piece. And so let's break down what this actually means. Well, the intent is the question, who is? And that tells the AI that the user is looking specifically for a recommendation or an identity. They're not looking for a news article or a definition of that thing. And then the attribution piece of it is the word top. That signals that the model to look up quality, proof, examples. This is going to pull from local rankings, from reviews, from credibility pieces, other signals online, social proof that you actually are the thing you're claiming to be. And then the entity piece is, RIA in Radnor, Pennsylvania. And that combines what you are, RIA, it combines where you are, clearly tied to Radnor or that general area around there. And if you don't check all three of these things with strong social signals, again, the models are just not going to pay you any mind. They're not going to pick you up, and you're going to have to rely strictly on things like local SEO and obviously referrals are the number one way for you to get business, but the models are just going to ignore you completely. All right, now let's talk about the intent portion of this. AI assumes top status is something that other people are saying about you, not something that you're saying about yourself. It's not looking for someone beating their own chest. Now, Graham is the best financial advisor marketer in the world. It's looking for all of you to say that about me. You can't just claim it on your website and expect that Google's going to pick that up. You can't just keyword stuff it into your back end code. We need to get into listicle content, articles and directories that rank advisors. Think things like Forbes or Barron's or the Philly Business Journal. And if these trusted sources, again, don't mention you, AI doesn't trust it enough to call you a top RIA. It's a recurring theme here, right? That if you're not found, it just doesn't know it. All right. So how do we solve for geography? How does Brooks become the mainline entity? Well, for geography, we need to prove that we're part of that area. The AI knows that Wayne and Radnor are part of a specific culture, and we need to connect that we're part of that culture by connecting the right dots. And your digital footprint needs to be tied to local staples. For example, Villanova University or the Wayne Hotel or the Devon Horse Show. These are areas that have established their own authority through the culture of the community that we can get tied to, and they can help pass on authority to us as far as the AI bots are concerned to help make sure you are the person found in that search. And by creating these connections, we tell the AI that you aren't just located in the area, but that you are part of the area's culture. So, a tactical application, the power and peril of video, going back specifically to what Brooks asked in his question. Here's a very specific tactic that you can implement if you are doing video marketing. YouTube is obviously part of Google. YouTube is part of the algorithm out there. When people search for things, it's a massive data source for not only what content is out there, but in terms of learning about you as somebody searching on the internet and Google understanding what you are looking for. So it is a massive data source for Google's AI. And if we optimize your video descriptions with phrases like highly rated RIA serving Wayne, PA, that feeds AI exactly what it needs. But wait, hold up. There's a giant catch. We have to be careful of SEC's marketing rule. So we need to find a balance between aggressive marketing optimization, exactly what the bots are looking for as an input, balanced with the strict compliance regulations that aren't going to get you in trouble. And I have strategies for that. If somebody else claims that you're a top advisor through an award, you can always cite that specific award that helps verify your authority. All right. So the GEO framework in action. How do you actually build a durable moat of authority around your RIA? Here's the game plan in action. We're going to call it the framework for generative authority, and it has some main pillars. One, you need third-party endorsements. You need to get mentioned by trusted publications. Two, entity optimization. You need to make it clear who you are online. Three, you need to be smart on how you structure your data. You need to clean up the data not only on your website, but through SEC filings all the way down to the local directories that list you online. And four, local connections. You need to work on weaving yourself into the digital fabric of your community. So I leave you with this. The future is not just about being found. It's about being the answer. The shift from SEO to GEO is not just a fad. It's a total structural change of how trust is won online. But luckily, like I've said, a lot of the things that we've preached for years are still very much the things that you should be doing. You just now have a reason to do them. You should submit for that local award. You should sponsor that local charity or organization. It's time to make sure that you are out there and weaving yourself into the trust of your community. And if you don't, you decide to sit this one out, well, you're going to become invisible on ChatGPT or whatever AI the person chooses in their life. But if you are proactive, we can ensure that when people are using their AI to figure out what needs they have in their life and who can help them with those needs, that you are one of the answers to that. So if you want help building a roadmap specifically for your firm on how you can dominate LLMs and make sure that you are listed as one of the top advisors in your area, hey, reach out. Or if you just want to ask a question and have me do a video like this, I'd love to do it. Hit me up, graham@gardnerconsulting.co. Check out the course I've added here on YouTube. I'm going to be dropping a bunch of knowledge. I'm just looking to connect with as many RIAs and advisors as possible. But until next week, stay heavy. Graham out.